How's it going, everyone? It's all right for you guys today. Finally, the item guide. The item guide that everybody has been asking me for such a long time. I'm here to make it. I'm going to include items and I'm going to include runes. So without further ado, guys, please like the video. Please like it. Comment it down below what you think of the builds, what you think of the runes. If there's some secret build that you've been cooking up, whatever it is, I'm down to hear it. I really am. So with that being said, if you're interested in watching me play on Europe, I am currently playing my 90 ping climb to Europe at twitch.tv/Solarbacca. And if you want to see, right here, I have a 67% win rate, Masters 244 LP, playing on 90 ping. So a lot of good stuff is happening. And without further ado, let's get into the item guide. So if you are an experienced Gangplank player, I think Longsword start into refillable is going to be your best start because you'll be able to save gold and go straight towards your Trinity Force. So if you're running Fleet, if you're running Fleet, or if you're running Grasp, then Longsword is a potential start for you. But again, I recommend this for experienced Gangplank players. I don't recommend you take this if you're first timing. Secondly, you should go D-Blade if you know that you're going to fight in the lane, or if you know that any fighting is going to take place, period. So if you're against, let's say, a Vladimir, if you're against, let's say, a Yasuo, a Yone, Fiora, then you're going to like D-Blade. You're going to have the extra health. You're going to get 10 AD. You're going to get the lifesteal, which helps with sustain. And if you run First Strike, then you have Jack of Trades, which is going to give you 3 haste right off the bat just from D-Blade alone. So I highly recommend taking D-Blade if you have First Strike, or if you're going to be fighting to the death in any lane, if you're learning Gangplank. If you need to be saved because you're like, oh my god, the enemy team picked Rumble, they picked Akshan, they picked Vayne, I hate my life, Solarbacca, save me, then you go D-Shield. Now, I recommend that if you're ever into a matchup where you need to take D-Shield, maybe you should think about dodging. And the only reason I say that is because as Gangplank, especially now more than ever, going even is not the plan. If you go even as Gangplank, that's not always winning for you. You want to be able to carry a lead. So if you have to take D-Shield, that's just something extra to consider. Next, we have the main build. Trinity Force into Lucidity Boots. You should always go Lucidity Boots. It's a no-brainer. Lucidity Boots, you're going to need that haste. It's just your best boots. You already get attack speed from Trinity Force, and Trinity Force is also giving you movement speed. With Essence Reaver, in the past, you didn't get attack speed or movement speed, which is why I would go Swifties or Berserker Greaves. But with that gone, Trinity, Lucidity, and the build that I've been going right now, I've been going Infinity Edge as a as a second item, and then going Collector or Mortal Reminder as a third item. So we go Trinity, Lucidity, Infinity, and then I press tab and I see, am I ahead and is the enemy team squishy? If the answer to both of those is yes, go Collector. If the enemy team has 1 tank but you're super far ahead, go Collector because you can kill the other people on the team. If they have 2 or 3 tanky champions, let's start thinking about Mortal Reminder. Now you might be saying, why not LDR? So, if you compare the stats, Mortal Reminder is 40 AD, 35% armor pen. LDR is 45 AD and 40% armor pen. Now, why should you build Mortal Reminder instead of LDR? Because Gangplank already has armor penetration built into his barrels. So, the extra 5% armor pen is more like 2.5%, 2% armor penetration on Gangplank's barrels. Meaning that it's not very good. Also, LDR no longer has the Giant Slayer passive, meaning that if you're against a Dr. Mundo, a Tahm Kench, a Sion, you're no longer getting bonus damage from them having a lot more health in you. So Mortal Reminder will always be better than LDR on Gangplank. On other champions, it could be different, but on Gangplank, you should always go Mortal Reminder. This is something that I've been trying to learn myself as well, because I'm seeing the value that I'm getting from LDR and it's nothing. But Mortal Reminder, even if I'm getting 600 in anti-heal, it's better than LDR. The 5 AD is nowhere near as valuable as denying 1200 healing. So Mortal Reminder is better than LDR. Next, Shield Bow just got buffed and it feels amazing. Now, I highly suggest you build Shield Bow as a 4th item. And the reason why I suggest you build it as a 4th item is because Shield Bow takes time to scale up. So by the time you purchase it, you're getting 600 shield minimum, 630 shield. To put that into perspective, if you were to build Maw as a 4th item, you would also get about a 550 health shield. Meaning that Shield Bow is either doing the same as Maw of Malmortius or greater. which is insane to think about. So shield bow, really, really, really great item as a 4th item. Now, here are the situational items. This is your 100% crit build right here. Here is where we get to situational items. If you're against Ivern, Seraphine, buy Serpent's Fang as a 2nd item. If you're against Ivern, Seraphine, Lulu, like 2 enchanters or more, I would say. If you're against Ivern or 2 enchanters or more, definitely get Serpent's Fang. 2nd item always. It's a huge spike with lethality. After Trinity Force, you have a lot of base AD, and it applies on your ult. So it's super good. Always buy Serpents 2nd if you're against shield compositions. Next, if you are against a poke composition, then you can actually skip out on getting 100% crit, and you can buy BT instead. So here's something that I like doing. I get 100% crit, and I sell my boots, and I buy Bloodthirster, because Bloodthirster gives you a 400 health shield at level 18, and Shield Bow gives you a 720 health shield, meaning that you have 1100 health from just your items alone at level 18, making your health bar go to 4.4k health just about. Insane. So BT, very good against poke compositions. Next, Youmuu's. If you're selling your boots, you can go Youmuu's. Opportunity is a great item if you're snowballing really hard after purchasing Collector. So let's say you build Trinity, Lucidity, Infinity, Collector, and you want more lethality, Youmuu's or Opportunity, always. If you're saying I'm against squishy team comps, then this is the item for you. Opportunity is really strong. Youmuu's for moving on the map. If you're against like hook champions like Blitzcrank, Thresh, Pike, anything that you need to dodge, Youmuu's is great. Otherwise, go Opportunity. Now let's talk about Essence Reaver. Essence Reaver is the best 2nd item on Gangplank if you have 0 haste in your runes. So I'm going to repeat that again. Essence Reaver is the best 2nd item on Gangplank if you have no haste in your runes. Now it does give 70 AD, 25 ability haste, 25% crit chance. The mana means nothing. Gangplank does not have mana problems after his 1st item. So don't pay attention to the mana there. That's fake. But the 25 ability haste you do in fact need if you have 0 haste in your runes. So buy Essence Reaver if you are playing 0 haste in your runes Gangplank. Now that we've got the main build out of the way and explained, let's go for what you can build versus a full squishy team composition. This is one of my favorite builds, and it feels very good. Lethality on Gangplank feels so good right now if you can use it properly. So Trinity, Youmuu's, Opportunity, into Collector, into Infinity Edge. This is my favorite build to run if I'm against a squishy team. You know why? Because your barrels do 800 damage as soon as you complete Opportunity. So at 3 items, you're doing anywhere from 800 to 900 damage, guaranteed. No crit chance BS, no random RNG, guaranteed damage. Then Collector to get more lethality, more crit chance, and then Infinity Edge. You could go Youmuu's Opportunity into like LDR, Mortal Reminder instead of Collector, but I think Collector is just a better all item if you're building these 2 items anyways. Next, we have the Tryndamere build. So if you're ahead or if you're behind, I'm going to explain to you how to play against Tryndamere with your items. So if you're ahead, you should go Trinity, Tabbies, and if you're behind, you go Randuin's. And the reason why you go Randuin's is so that you can survive. If you're ahead, then buying health is the same as like buying armor. Shojin will make you do so much damage, Tryndamere can't fight back. So I suggest if you're super far ahead, Trinity into Shojin into Randuin's. If you're behind, Trinity, Randuin's, Shojin. 4th item, I think Thornmail is great. So Tryndamere has a lot of healing right now. Not because of Tryndamere's passive or his Q, it's because of Hydra. So Ravenous Hydra is making Tryndamere heal full health all the time. So I suggest you get Thornmail, because when he auto attacks a wave or auto attacks you, then that Tiamat will actually proc Bramble Vest, meaning that he will take damage. Well, I think he'll take damage, but he will get anti-heal. There will be anti-heal applied to him. So very, very, very good item. And then 5th item, I suggest Sterak's Gauge. I think it's a pretty solid item to round out your build. You could even go Sterak's over Thornmail if you're super far ahead. So if you're super far ahead, Trinity, Shojin, And then Randuin's Starax. Maybe you could go Starax over Randuin's if you're super far ahead. Otherwise, you go Trinity, Randuin's, Shojin, Thornmail into Starax, and then you could buy Leandries as well. So if you're looking to skip over Thornmail or skip over Starax Gauge, then you could just go Trinity, Shojin, Leandries, Starax, and that's a very, very solid build. Your ult will do a lot of damage. You'll be a very strong bruiser. So that is what I would suggest if you're going to Trinimir or if you just want to play Bruiser Gangplank. So if you just want to play Bruiser Gangplank, I will, I think I should add that here. So this is for fun Bruiser GP. For fun Bruiser GP, this is what I would recommend. I'd say Trinity, boom, this. You can even go plated steel caps. I'll put all boots options here, all boot options here, because I feel like you can get whatever you want. And then we'll go Leandries, I think is the best item afterwards. And then Starax to get some health, some tankiness, dueling potential. And then last item, honestly, you could go whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. You can go Horizon, you could go Malignance. I'm gonna put Horizon here, but actually I'll keep it at that. I think that's just the best. Anything after that is situational. Next, we have the best AP Gangplank build that I have cooked up for a long time. If you're a Solarbacca viewer, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. We've got the Trinity Force, we got Malignance, and let me answer something quickly about Trinity Force. Lichbane stinks. You cannot farm, you cannot lane. Lichbane is bad, don't do it. Ever since Dematerializer was removed from the game, it's harder to farm your Lichbane. Don't go Lichbane. If you really want to go Lichbane, sell Trinity Force later on in the game. So what I would recommend is you go Trinity Force into Malignant, get that ultimate haste going, get some damage, and then after you complete Malignant, always go Sorc Shoes. And the reason why you go Sorc Shoes is if you combine Sorc Shoes with Malignance and GP ult upgrade, Fire at Will, you do a lot of damage. I'm talking 1.2k, 1.3k damage, AoE on your ult only at level 11. That's insane. This is crazy damage. I might be overshooting it by a little bit, but you guys get the point. You're doing an insane amount of damage that is unhealthy. So when should you go this build? If you have setup on your team. If you've got that Rel, if you've got that J4 jungle, that Rakan, that Nautilus, that Zac, that Sejuani, you should go this build. It's very powerful. Now, if your team is also full AD, you can also go this build. Otherwise, otherwise this build, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit for fun. It does have its scenarios. As I mentioned, if you have that Rel, this is going to look like the best Gangplank build in the world. But if you don't have any CC on your team and your team might have too much AP, you shouldn't go this build. So after Malignance, you go Leandries, get some more damage on your barrels, on your Q, on your ultimate especially. Then you go Axiom Mark. So with Axiom Mark, you're going to get a lot more haste, you're going to get lethality, and if you're running first strike build, then this is how you get 10 Jack of Trade stats, is with Axiom Mark. Next, we have Opportunity, because Opportunity actually gives you, by this point, an additional 8 lethality. So you'll have anywhere from 26 to 28 lethality just from one item alone, which also applies to Axiom Mark. Meaning that when you ult your Axiom Arc, instead it will have 25% CDR refund on your ultimate, if I'm not mistaken, instead of like 21% or 20%. So very powerful item in combined with Opportunity. And if you're saying to yourself, I can't buy Opportunity, the enemy team has a lot of shields, go Serpent's Fang instead. And then if you sell your boots, I think Horizon Focus is a great purchase. If you want to sell Trinity for Lichbane, then that's also an option. So those are all of the items that you need to know and why you should build every single one for Season 14 Gangplank. Next, we're going to move to runes. So let's start off because we have a lot to talk about. So let's start off with the Precision Tree. First off, PTA is not viable on Gangplank and neither is Conqueror. Conqueror used to be viable once upon a time, but now it takes too long to stack up. We've got Fleet Footwork. Absorb Life feels amazing on Gangplank, and the reason why I think you should take it on Gangplank is because it just allows you to stay healthy once you complete Trinity Force and as you're completing Trinity Force. So you're always able to stay above the 90% threshold, which is in a lot of matchups what you need to be able to win the 1v1 or to be able to survive in the first place. Like if you fight a Riven or if you fight a Darius, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to win these 1v1s with a little bit of health left, and that's what Absorb Life does best. You can take Presence of Mind if you're a player who feels like you're struggling with, mana in lane and you feel like I need a little bit of extra help, then you can take Presence of Mind. Otherwise, go Absorb Life. Never go Triumph, it's a scam. Haste. Never take Alacrity because Triforce gives you attack speed. We don't need Alacrity anymore. Take Legend Haste. It gives you 15 haste on all of your abilities minus your ult. And then we come down to Cut Down and Last Stand. I suggest Cut Down in 99% of matchups, mainly because it'll apply on your ulti, and it's the damage that gets people low in the first place, whereas Last Stand is very specific. So if you are fighting against that Darius, that Yone, that Yasuo, that Fiora, you might actually like Last Stand more than Cut Down. And yeah, I would say that's a good way to measure it. If you're against the matchup where you're going to be able to utilize Last Stand, you're going to get low health, but you can fight back, then take it. Otherwise, Cut Down, great default. Don't go coup de grace. It stinks. Secondary runes for the sorcery tree. So pay attention. These are the best runes in the game for Gangplank to succeed. If you feel like Gangplank is super weak, Gangplank doesn't feel great to play, First Strike is getting nerfed the next patch. So it's not good to take in almost any matchup now. These are the runes that you run right here. This is what you run. Transcendence, you get 10 ability haste. So now we have 25 haste from our runes alone. Meaning that we will not need to build Essence Reaver. We can go straight into Infinity Edge. Then Gathering Storm just to continue scaling. You can take Mana Flow and Transcendence if you really want. However, Gangplank is a huge mid-game champion, and I like to treat him like that. So I take Gathering Storm, get a little bit of extra AD going in our runes. And then we have Attack Speed Shard, I personally like. Otherwise, you can take Haste or Adaptive. But I think Attack Speed Shard is very, very good at getting those barrels early on before you can complete your Trinity Force. In addition to farming under tower. Always take Adaptive, always take Flat Health. The reason why I think you should always take Flat Health is because your goal with this page is to scale, but it's also to stay in lane until you can afford big components like Sheen, Phage, Triforce. That's the whole point of this page. So if you combine this page right here with Longsword Start, man, you're going to complete Triforce at 9 minutes and you're going to be 1v9. You won't have to build any haste, and you could go straight into Collector, straight into Infinity Edge, and start one-shotting people. Guys, this is the best. I'm going to put the best Gangplank page. This is the best Gangplank page for sure. Next, I'm going to show you guys some other things that you can do. So, I don't think you should take Domination and Resolve. I mean, I don't think you should take Resolve either, I'll be honest with you. I think Resolve is kind of stinky. Like, you could go Bone Plating and Demolish if you're against Tryndamere. You know what? That could probably work. I don't think anything here in Inspiration is good. I think these are the best runes in the game for Gangplank. Next, let's talk about Grasp. Airy is not good. Comet is not good. Phase Rush is not good. And none of these are good. Now, you might be saying, Solarbacca, why are you saying that? Have you ever tried those runes? Yes, I have. They're not good. They're not better than the runes that I'm showing you right now. So next, we have Grasp of the Undying. So Grasp is super strong. With Gangplank getting his base health buffed, along with you building Trinity Force, you're going to get tankier earlier. You're going to do more damage. And you want to be a lane bully now. We're back to Gangplank trying to become a lane bully. So with that being said, Grasp is very good. Demolish, Bone Plating in most matchups. If you're against Camille, it's really good to take against Camille because her W healing gets like cut in half if you have Bone Plating. If you're against Aatrox, his passive is also affected by Bone Plating to my knowledge. Darius, if he pulls you. Riven, if she all-ins you. Jax, if he jumps on you. Garen, if he combos you. QER, combo. Bone Plating is going to be your best thing, your best friend pretty much every single time. And then you're going to want Overgrowth. Revitalize is not very good. Overgrowth is always going to be the best option for you. Now, here's what I like running. I like running Biscuits and Cosmic Insight with Ignite and killing people. I love fighting to the death. So I take Biscuits, I take Cosmic Insight, and I fight to the death with Ignite against the Darius, against that Yone, against that whoever I'm against. I love fighting to the death. Now, if you are playing against like a Camille top lane, right? And you're saying, I don't want fleet footwork. I want to be able to punish lanes, but I also want to scale. That's no problem. Grasp with Absorb Life and Legend Haste is a great alternative to the Fleet page. So let's say, you know what, Solarbacca, this page, it's not really doing it for me. I'm sorry, but I don't have the patience to play like this. I don't think it's that good. It doesn't fit my playstyle. No worries. No worries at all. Second best page. So the second best page is Grasp, Bone Plating, and then you're going to take Absorb Life, Legend Haste. This is your second best page. You get 15 haste. Combine that with Lucidity Boots, you're going to get a lot more CDR. You know, you can still skip Essence Reaver and you can build Infinity Edge. You can build Infinity Edge as a second item. Now, next, we're going to talk about, well, I already talked about this, right? If you take this and this with Ignite, then you should go Essence Reaver as the second item. So Legend Haste and Absorb Life, very strong page. The last page that we're going to talk about today is Inspiration, and that's First Strike. Now, let me say this. Last worst GP page, but works. This is the worst GP page in my opinion because you can't go Longsword Start. You have to go D-Blade, and First Strike is just underwhelming. You do nothing in lane. You throw pellets at people. So you have First Strike, Cashback, Biscuit Delivery, and if you're playing Ignite, then you go Cosmic Insight, but if you're playing TP, you go Jack of all trades. So if you're fighting, like, if you want to be greedy when you're fighting like a Darius player, right? I love playing First Strike into Darius, so I will go Cosmic Insight, but otherwise, just go this page. This is the best page. Yeah, this is also this is like the worst GP page. It's the best of the worst, though. It's the best of the worst. Yeah. So you take First Strike, you take Cashback, Biscuits, Jack of all trades. With D-Blade, you get 3 stacks right away. And yeah. Now, the reason I don't like First Strike is because you're just not able to accelerate quickly enough. Even if you get 400 gold at 15 minutes, it does not make a big difference at all. Compared to if you just went Longsword Start and you went Fleet. So, if you guys want to run First Strike into Shen, I think it is the best into Shen. It will be the best rune page into a non-interactive top lane matchup, like maybe Zac. Like against Zac, if you want to get those First Strike procs, yeah, it can work. But I don't recommend that you play this every single game at all. I recommend you take one of the 2 previous pages that I recommended to you guys. So this is the best First Strike page. You could also run Transcendence and Gathering Storm, but I think this is going to be the best for you. So with that being said, that is all you need to know about Gangplank on this patch. That's all you need to know to have success. Gangplank right now, he takes a lot of work to pull off, but he's playable. He is, in fact, playable. So with that being said, please leave a like on the video, subscribe, and comment down below. If you made it to the end of the video, I don't just say like, I don't know, I hate Tryndamere. I don't like Tryndamere, you know, that's the keyword phrase amongst us Gangplank players. When you play against 50% wholesome, ravenous Hydra Tryndamere, who heals all his health and also has 500 billion attack range. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And yeah, make sure to leave a follow at twitch.tv/Solarbacca. We're close to 300,000 followers. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.